I'm Nick Sorrentino for Liberty and Economics Review and libertyandeconomics.com. I wanted to talk about a piece that I wrote recently about the left and the Tea Party folks coming together on some issues. Now, this may sound kind of counterintuitive that the Tea Party folks and the left would ever come to any kind of consensus on anything. But there are actually quite a few areas where what I call the innovative left, meaning people who are on the left but who aren't completely wedded to the state. Um, those folks that believe in technology and the value of you know thinking, um, as opposed to the unionists, the statists, the people who are hardcore, um, you know, associated with bureaucracy. Anyway, the innovative left and the Tea Party, at least the kind of the libertarian part, can work together on a couple of things. One area is in agriculture, which is interesting. The recent farm bill, the most recent farm bill that went through, um, a lot of rural Democrats voted for huge subsidies to large agribusiness. And this was kind of their trump card. Um, they might be Democrats, but at least they were bringing home the bacon to their constituents, um, which were ConAgra, I guess, or whatever, Monsanto. But interestingly, those rural Dems in the most recent election got hammered. Even people in committee leadership positions. Um, and the Republicans who have a lot of agriculture pork in their districts, but consistently vote against that pork, actually did well in those elections. So what that means is there's an opportunity here there's a brief window um, where something can be done about these huge agricultural subsidies. Now there are a lot of people on the left who think it's absolutely horrible that Monsanto or ConAgra gets the largesse of the state, although they probably wouldn't use those terms, but they don't think that these big bad corporations should be getting taxpayer money, especially when they're running out health food stores and trying to genetically engineer food that doesn't seed. Yeah, that's true. Monsanto is has. I mean, I'm not a. I like corporations. I think corporations do lots of good things. But I will say though, it is my understanding that there are agricultural corporations that are basically, I mean, they're looking to develop or have developed plants that don't seed, so that farmers have to buy the seed each season, as opposed to actually gleaning the seed, year in year out, and having this source of replenished food. Anyway, um, so there are a lot of people on the real touchy feely part of the real granola part of the left that hate these subsidies. And you know what? Libertarians hate these subsidies. I mean, they despise them. And conservatives say that they despise these things, and a lot of them do. Um, so why not come together here before before big agriculture gets their hooks into the new folks coming into the House and the Senate, for that matter. We need to bridge that gap, form a coalition, at least on perhaps this point, and get to know one another. Neither side has to compromise their principles. We actually happen to agree on most things on this issue. So hey, let's get together. Another area that is a little more challenging, as if agriculture wasn't challenging enough, where I think that there's opportunity. and frankly, I think we have to do this as a nation, is we need to address energy. Um, Now, commonly, in this country, oil is held up as the free market alternative um, for energy, and then all the Obamites are all like, "Hey, wind energy, sunshine," whatever. Um, and and the conservatives, the sober conservatives are like, don't it's just not cost effective, and you have to have government subsidies to make these things work, and so on and so on. Well, the thing is, oil is hugely subsidized. I mean, around the world, um, I've seen the figure of $500 billion per year. Now, a lot of this stuff is, a lot of that is in Iran. In places like Iran, Saudi Arabia, where they like keep gas, you know, 30 cents a gallon, to try to keep the population happy. But the point is, it skews the market. It's not, oil is not a free market, and neither is coal. Coal has huge subsidies, um, and neither is nuclear for that matter. I mean, nuclear is like, I mean, that is a huge debacle. I mean, that nuclear would not exist if it wasn't for, huge government backed loans that largely are supported by Republicans, which doesn't really make sense if you believe in small government. But on this most vital issue, in my opinion, I think energy, you know, after the Fed, I believe that energy is the most important issue, and the two are tied closely, by the way, which we can get into later. But um, on this important issue, I think that people who really recognize that if we essentially liberalize the energy markets, things like wind and solar, tidal, you know, become much more economically viable. We've been looking at this from the wrong perspective. A lot of people on the left have been saying, well, hey, why don't we need to subsidize these things so that they'll work and there'll be innovation and so on and whatever. No, that's not the answer. What we need to do is liberalize the market, the energy market, stop subsidizing all these other forms of energy so that wind, solar, etc. can compete. You know, I mean, let the market choose. But I mean, let it choose in a truly free market where, there's real price discovery, not this kind of bastardized energy market that we exist in, you know, in this country and in this world. So, that should be easy to solve over the weekend. And the 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 Greens and the anti-subsidy libertarian conservative folks should be no problem getting together and solving this thing. We'll just knock it out. So anyway, until next time, I'm Nick Sorrentino at libertyandeconomics.com and for the Liberty and Economics Review.